Hello and welcome. We are back. We're at the 2019 Las Vegas Challenge presented by Innova Disc Golf, the very first PDGA National Tour of 2019. As always, big sexy commentary, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
We are so happy to be back. 2019 is here. Huge changes for this season. We've got the Grip 6 low profile here to show the champions card here, the 4 previous champions of this event, how they did in the 2018 season. 2018
LVC even.
Correct.
So we're going to look at their finishing position. See Ricky here tied for third, minus 30, 47% birdies last year at these same courses.
Eagle McMahon, obviously, with his huge first national tour win of 3 of the season, 36 under, birdied 54% of the holes. Just a madman. Last year was so windy.
Yeah.
This year, not so windy on round 1, but we had snow on the ground. It was 35 degrees and not really what you expect for Las Vegas. So kind of an interesting challenge, especially for those people who are the snowbirds getting away from those northern states, coming down to sunny Las Vegas. Not so sunny.
Yeah, not today. Hole 1 has been lengthened a little bit, and it's lost a pretty important tree that was kind of right in the middle. So we're going to see most guys go big hyzer.
First on the tee, our 2015 Las Vegas Challenge champion, Paul McBeth.
And Paul McBeth, probably the most notable of all changes this past season, going from Innova to Team Discraft. He's going to be starting this hole off, throwing a Z Predator.
And there's that big hyzer play. It's only 273, so these guys are going to have no problem with the distance. Hyzer is nice because on any golf course, like ball golf course design, you've got that super short grass. You can kind of stick the disc where you land it.
And Philo's going with the Innova version of a Z Predator, a Glow Firebird. Pretty much same speed and stability, just trying to knife in and just throw a spike hyzer over this big tall palm right there. Actually, he's going for the gap shot.
Little bit of skip, but not too bad. He'll be in the circle.
Third up, your 2017 Las Vegas Challenge champion, Ricky Wysocki.
Ricky is also, well, I'd say maybe equal in terms of big changes in the season, going back to his roots with Innova, and he's throwing a champion Firebird here. Doing the same line Paul went with over the top of the palm.
And that's leaked well long.
And finally, your defending champion, the 2018 Las Vegas Challenge winner, Eagle McMahon.
Eagle's done away with the silver and white locks. Still keeping the skinny pants on, though. Nothing's changed there.
I'm glad about that.
Oh, yeah. Eagle is throwing an FD3, which is pretty much the same disc as a Firebird and Predator. So all players going with a similar shot choice.
Great round, gentlemen.
Nice shot from Eagle there. Comes right past the chains, kind of scoots long. All of our players a little long, but everybody's putting. As you can see, the wind is pretty much non-existent.
Pretty unusual for Las Vegas.
Ricky just a little low from about 50 feet. Eagle looks like he's maybe 40. Beautiful putt.
And Eagle's in with his P2. And Paul's putting with his new signature putter, the Luna. And he's a bit short there. Not the start you want on this. Pretty much, it's almost a, I don't want to say gimme, but it
doesn't get a lot easier.
It's pretty easy. I mean, considering a lot of these holes on this course are 500 feet, or really on this whole complex, you got a lot of 450-foot shots that are challenging. This one's, there's nothing in front of you really besides those 2 palms. It's just wide open, 273 feet. So pretty disappointing pars for Ricky and Paul there, but birdies for Philo and Eagle.
Hole 2, par 3, 354 feet. This one is through kind of a small gap going straight away. There is an option of going big hyzer as well. And then you've got OB beyond the basket, about 50 feet maybe. You can see the cart path coming into view now. A few features on this green, unlike the last one. You've got a few bushes to contend with. You're really just going to throw probably either a somewhat overstable mid-range or maybe a fairway driver and try to throw it as straight as possible.
Philo's throwing his champ T-bird here.
Philo is a guy who throws very straight, so he's going to like this kind of shot.
Yeah, he's got that traditional game that you want to build your game around. Just rocks, T-birds, eagles, destroyers, and firebirds.
He went a little long there. I'm guessing this is probably a mid.
Actually, it's an FD3. He
Okay.
puts a little flex on it.
Okay. A nice, probably maybe a nice tree there. Might have been going a little deep.
And Paul's going with the Undertaker, and that is just not quite committed on that flat line. Ooh, that's going to be a tricky putt unless that somehow rolls out. No, he's going to be behind the bush. It's going to leave a tricky putt. Speaking of tricky, here's Tricky Ricky with a little KC rock action.
Well, this is staying right.
Hard to tell if that bush is in the way. That thing is real. Yeah, looks like Eagle's trying to avoid it, going a little Anheuser.
Here is Rick.
You know what I like about Rick? He's just real consistent. You know, when he wears his hats, it's on the top of his head, and it looks like it's going to fall off if there's any wind. When he wears his beanies, it's the same exact thing. You're never quite sure if it's going to just fall off the top of his head.
Paul a little right with that putt. And here's Philo from kind of near that OB. He's a little bit long.
Oh,
Wow.
Solid putt there. Dead center from about 33, 35 feet or so.
Two very solid putts in a row now.
Mm-hmm. Good start for Philo. Paul's got a little bit of a comeback here for his par. Count it.
It can be tough. I know, at least for me, and I would think for all of us really, like getting back in the swing of things. First national tour, you're kind of, the cameras are back. I feel the nerves every time.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially on this league group here. I mean, there's a lot of times you're playing in feature groups, but this is the 4 previous champions of this event going back to 2015.
Yeah.
It's a lot of winning out here.
Yeah. Hole 3, this is a par 4 at 621. Pretty short and not that challenging of a par 4, really, as long as you get your drive turned over. So these guys are going to really air it out. I think this group, you know, Eagle certainly has the potential to actually reach this basket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eagle definitely does. I know I had maybe a 70-foot putt at it, which I don't know if I quite buy the distance they say at 620, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's right?
It's probably close.
Yeah, it's downhill too, I guess, so it makes it a little bit more reachable. They did change this basket, though. They brought it down from the top of the hill, which gives it a little bit more of that super long Eagle potential. Speaking of Eagle, he's going to be throwing a cloud breaker here, something that he's been throwing pretty far lately.
Oh, he got over on this. This is going to go way right.
But there's no out of bounds over there. I think at this distance, it's not really far enough for it to be a challenging par 4. I think the way that they could maybe make this a challenge is line up that right side OB.
Mm-hmm. That would make it much more difficult.
Because you got the path on the left that's OB too, so just tighten the fairway up a little bit.
Paul with a Z-force. It's got flat at the top. It's going to be tracking pretty left, but it got enough distance, I think, to avoid any out of bounds.
Yeah, you should be fine there. A little skip and roll down the hill. Oh, yeah. Come an extra 10 feet.
That's a putt.
That's in range, yeah. And Ricky's going to be going with a destroyer just like Philo.
Oh, nice flip
Oh,
way
yeah.
up.
Oh, my goodness.
As that came out of his hand, I was worried it wouldn't get flip at that height, but he really knew the disc and well controlled.
Wow, that is a huge crush there. That's going to be in Ricky range, I think. Oh, my gosh, he's almost pin high.
The word swirling around the clubhouse is Anthony Barella was 16 feet away.
Yeah, he's good at that distance stuff.
Nice layup.
Mm-hmm. A little shout out to Grip 6 there. Supporting Jomez and BigSexy. If you guys haven't tried them out, you should definitely
Do it.
You should definitely do it.
Here is Paul. Eagle look.
Oh, good run there. And Ricky's in.
It's looking like a lot of birdies for these guys. You don't get to be a former champion leaving holes like this on the table.
This one's just too easy. It says it's the 7th handicap, 7th hardest hole, but I don't know. Well, they say it's a. Sorry, are we in hole 4? We're in hole 3. Oh, it's a 16th. Yeah, it's the second easiest hole. That makes more sense.
Hole 4, par 3, 390 feet going downhill with OB along the right side and, in fact, long of the basket. That cart path kind of wraps all the way around. It's a really slippery green. You're going to throw probably a wide, kind of flat wide shot with a fairway driver. Pretty overstable, and try to kind of hit a little right of the pin, take your little small skip right towards the basket. I think it might be possible that we see a big hyzer play from Eagle even.
Yeah. And Philo's going with a destroyer there, a little check shot.
Oh, wow.
Beautifully done.
Philo is going to be 4 for 4. Looks like he's looking up the middle.
Yeah, he's lined up the middle with his straight FD3.
This might be long.
It's coming back. That tree's about pin high, but yeah, that is looking long. That needs to hold on. Oh my goodness.
That was nasty. That would have curled back in if there had been a little less fringe there, but
oh my gosh.
Those are the breaks.
The infamous Las Vegas steel grass catches and pushes out of bounds. It's a bad break.
McBeth a little early. He's going to leave himself about 30 feet. Maybe a little less. This line looks pretty good if it's not too high.
A nice little Firebird shot there for Ricky.
Similar to Paul's.
Yeah, Paul actually clubbed down. He went with a wasp there to go the straight mid-range. 390 feet downhill.
Yeah. Eagle for the par save now. Well done.
If there's any whispers of wind out there, that putt just becomes so much more difficult. But really, these conditions are just set up for players to come out here, first round of the touring season, and attack this really attackable infinite course. And we were really concerned about, I mean, the conditions. When I woke up, there was 6 inches of snow on the ground, and I'm only staying 30 minutes away from the course, so I was really concerned the course was going to be in really bad shape.
Yeah.
We were pretty lucky overall.
Welcome to the Las Vegas Challenge, sponsored by Innova Champion Disc. 20 years of support, $500,000. Hope everyone has a good time.
Beautiful Wild Horse Golf Club here in Las Vegas. It really is a special treat to come out here every year.
And just a huge congratulations to the Las Vegas Disc Golf Club. I mean, anytime you can put on a high-level event, 20 years running.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an incredible commitment to the game, just to put all that together. So thank you to all those guys. Hole 5, 360 feet, OB on the right side. You've got your choice here, kind of a wide backhand hyzer or also a common play as a power forehand. Philo going to go for the multiple skip.
He's going with a little T-bird option there. It's going to come up about 30 feet short.
He's already shown us he's feeling it from that range, though.
Yeah.
See if he can keep it going.
Paul is going to go sidearm with the Kong, new fast driver from Discraft.
Beautiful. Now sit down. A little bit unfortunate on the roll, but I think he's going to... Well, never mind.
What is going on here?
I think he's going to be just fine.
I just want to see a FollowFlight just to see the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, man. Michael will be busy for a day and a half trying to do that FollowFlight.
He was dancing around the green like, I don't know, like somebody that dances a lot. Say like
a dancing enthusiast. A little short on the forehand from Rick. Eagle's never been short on a forehand in his life.
No.
And he keeps the streak alive.
And Ricky, that's a cloud breaker for Eagle. Ricky went with a monster.
Wow.
Really overstable disc for this distance, but he's just showing how good the monster is because
that's where he wants to be.
Yeah, exactly where he wants to be.
And just toss in a classic Ricky putt, that high delivery. right in the center of the chains. Philo to continue a perfect start. Yeah.
Count it left
Wow.
side, but enough hyzer and nice up and down motion on that putt to let it settle in the basket. He's a perfect start here. And Eagle's in. Paul's got a short putt for the second star frame of the group. Of the round, I should say.
Yeah, I like to see, this is all past champions, obviously. So all these guys, elite level pros. But if you wanted to draw a line, you'd say Philo is probably a second tier pro, like a lot of us. Where if you're looking at the top tier,
right?
Eagle, Rick, Paul, who maybe a couple other names, I don't know. But it's cool to see, Philo comes out of the gates, brand new season. He's just putting down perfection.
I mean, he's the oldest one of the group. He's the most experienced in terms of just life experience, and I don't think he is really concerned by playing with Paul or Ricky like a lot of people might be.
No, and this is the infamous hole 6, Triple Island. Philo is going to attack the second safe landing area, and that is perfectly done. If you miss the island, you've got to go to a first drop zone. You miss again, you move to another drop zone. This hole is absolutely brutal. It's a par 4, even though it's only 294 feet.
Oh, and Paul is attacking the green.
Yeah, he is.
And that
was that the putter?
That was the Luna, yeah.
Okay. Kind of a Nova type play.
Yep, didn't quite stand up enough. Ricky wises up, but he's fine. He's throwing a KC AVR there. And this is
Eagle.
just a P2, and he's just laying up to the first island.
This is what he did last year as well. Playing for perhaps par. Just going to do putt, putt, putt.
I can respect that play. It seems with the wind being as low as as calm as it is right now, it's hard to not go for that second island.
Oh, he slides it up.
Wow,
Inbounds.
just barely safe.
I can't respect the play.
Okay.
I love Eagle.
Yeah.
I love Eagle, but I want to see him go at least for the second
The
island.
second island is
too good.
Really easy. It's only maybe 100 feet off the tee.
He's simply too good.
And you can see, I mean, you watch the way that Philo and Ricky played that hole. That shot is just, if you don't have that shot, it's hard to consider yourself an elite pro. That's just playing catch with your friends in the backyard. Throw it 150 feet.
Paul to save a par 4 here. Got it?
And this must be the only inside 300 foot, nothing really in the way par 4
In the world.
in the world.
And I'm glad it's the only one.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting
it's
hole.
unique. I mean, I don't mind it, but it can be quite frustrating.
I mean, had the conditions been different and it had been windy, this hole brings a certain pucker factor that is just,
Yeah.
it's hard to ignore.
Then you maybe can put me on board for Eagles play if it gets super, super windy.
Right.
Hole 7, par 3, 363. This one is tough because the grass is so short, I feel like. It's not a shot you can go point to point. You've got to play a multiple skip hyzer, and it's just so hard. The angle sensitivity is so high when the grass is this short that you really have to have that perfect angle to slow the disc down where you need it to slow down.
And look at that graphic on the bottom there. You see 6 straight birdies to start this round off for Philo. And that's
Looking to keep it going.
Oh, yeah, that's looking really...
Oh, my
I
gosh.
think it's going to be 7, folks. That's exactly what you like to see there. Starts the disc out there with it's a glow Firebird, really pushing the edge of this tree line. That's the perfect play,
Wow.
giving the disc no other choice than to just wrap up around the basket.
Beautiful.
Playing that Las Vegas steel grass perfectly, which isn't a thing. I'm just making things up.
Nothing's changed. And there goes Ricky, a little wide, but it's going to be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, great play. Just pushing it right to the edge of those trees.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we don't get a FollowFlight for Ricky, though. Maybe obscured by too many trees. And this is a drone here for
This
Paul.
heavy angle. It's going to kind of peel away from the basket.
Mm-hmm. It's well short. It's going to be a long birdie putt for Paul. And this is an MD3 for Eagle here. Going for a slightly straighter play. Does not
A lot
quite
of height, yeah.
hanging out as wide as he'd like, but because he went with mid-range, he didn't get that skip roll that you'd get if you'd thrown even just a straight fairway driver.
Paul with a decent run there.
Oh,
nice.
Great putt.
SloMez, probably 45 feet, tailwind. Great putt.
One of the things you got to love about Eagle's putt from all distances, he holds that follow through on the line, doesn't break his wrist past the pole, which is just a sign of an excellent, really confident putter. Just picks that spot, stabs the putt perfectly almost every time, and that's why you see him make a lot of those 40 to 50 foot putts.
Philo, perfection, 7 down through 7. Hole 8, par 4, 555 feet. This one has an out-of-bounds green as well as an out-of-bounds cart path. Most players are going to go short of the green or maybe left of the green and then pitch over to the basket. Big arms have the opportunity to go for it, but it's a little bit cold, maybe a little bit windy for that kind of strategy, I would think.
And there's a couple different ways you can play this hole, but it looks like these guys, or at least Philo, has elected to lay up short of the green. There's really no point unless you're really committing yourself to attacking this green. The problem is if you attack that green, that water on the right side comes into play, and it's really not necessary. It's such a hard 2 to get. All these players can reach that, but it's maybe just not worth it. I would say it's not worth it. I have to give a shout out real quick. I kind of forgot to mention Steve Berger aced the first shot of the tour, hole 1. That's a pretty cool thing. I've never aced the first hole of a tournament before, but certainly not the first shot of the tour season.
Yeah, that's cool. And if you haven't heard of Steve, he's probably maybe the best Las Vegas resident pro.
Yeah, so that's what a better way to start the season. I mean, that's incredible.
In front of the hometown fans. Looks like all our players played very similar shots here.
All stable fairway drivers, a couple Firebirds, FD3, and I believe a Predator. Yep.
And there is OB down there, right to the right of the basket. You can see that blue string. Ricky stopped short of it.
Perfect touch there.
Absolutely something that's in these players' heads on this shot. You almost want to hit the golf green and take one skip from there rather than kind of go down the hill in the air.
Right. I believe that is a Paul McBeth zone. I'm not quite sure what Philo's doing here, but that needs to sit down.
Past the green.
That's not too far away. That's within the range that he's been making all around so far.
Possible MD5 here.
And really wide. That must have just held onto his hand there. That's going to be
wow, and he almost left that out of bounds. That would be a double disaster because it's not only a grip lock, but
right. And the out of bounds is only the shortest cut of the green, and he was just on the fringe there. This is Paul with his Luna from about 30 feet. And he knew right out of his hand that was not heading towards the center of the basket. Look at that.
wow.
8 through 8. Philo is on a rampage right now. And Ricky's birdied the last 6 holes, and he's hanging in there. But
yeah, he is.
I mean, wow, 8 down through 8 for Philo. What a hot start here.
Got a little leaderboard check-in. You can see how some of our other players are doing on the course so far.
Big shout out to Joe Kowalski and Chris Shotwell, who took Eagle 2s on this hole 8 here.
Wow. Congratulations. What a
impressive
play.
Yep.
Hole 9, par 4, 627. This hole has been changed. It was a par 3 in years past. Now it's been lengthened. That fairway area is out of bounds, so you've got to stay inside the sandy area on the edge of it. So you're going to play a big shot, basically a long kind of flat to hyzer finish as far as you can throw it, and then a mid-range chip up to the green, try to make your birdie.
I like this change. It was kind of in between par 3, par 4 in the past.
Yeah.
And this grass being out of bounds really restricts the big arms from just throwing it as far as they can. You kind of have to play longest fairway driver shot you can possibly throw.
Yeah.
And if you have to throw a driver, you have to choke up just a bit on it.
Or you go over stable. There's really no danger left, I
Yeah.
feel. So if you just kind of rip on something that's going to finish left, you're going to be okay.
As Ricky has done perfectly here. That's a huge shot. Not leaving too much, but the hole's certainly better than I think it was in the years past. But again, another one of these holes that with wind, we take a hole that's averaging 3.52, and we turn this into 3.9,
Yep.
almost 4 if it's windy.
Great shot from Eagle there. Yeah, if you watched last year's coverage, we played this hole into a 35-mile-an-hour headwind. It was
Yeah, and I believe I remember you hitting the putt of the year.
one of my best.
Yeah, it was incredible from like 60 feet, and you putted it below the basket, and it somehow rose up the whole way into the chains.
Wow, look at these guys making a little triangle over there in the perfect spot. Philo's also in a great spot, though. As you can see, nothing in the way. Throw a little mid-range hyzer, take one hop, and could this guy really play a perfect 9 holes?
Perfect 9 to start the season off. All I can remember in my commentary days is Paul has had 2 perfect 9s, and one of them led to the perfect round.
Wow.
So
There's a lot of challenges left, but
Sure.
I mean, I've certainly never opened a season with a perfect 9.
no, I've never opened anything or finished anything with a perfect 9.
And Eagle, these guys making it look easy, as it is, honestly. After you drive it there,
Yeah.
really, this is a pretty easy upshot.
I mean, one of the elements of the whole, oh goodness,
Ooh.
you're trying to make it look less easy than it is, but one of the elements that's really tricky actually is that little hillside above the tee. If it's windy, getting the nose angle is incredibly important, because if you have to get that nose angle up high to miss that hill,
Yeah.
and it's windy, that disc can go anywhere. So it's
There it is,
very
man.
fortunate to avoid that. But yeah, look at the Philo here.
Yeah, congratulations. That was amazing to watch. That concludes our front 9 coverage. You got to check back in, subscribe to JomezPro so you know when we drop that back 9. We will be back from Las Vegas as soon as possible. See you guys there.